Hello, I'm Zulekha Chaudhary from the Alkazi Theatre Archives. Incepted in 2016, the Alkazi Theatre Archives includes material from post independence, modern theatre in India, in the form of printed matter such as original scripts, director's notes, brochures, reviews, theatre journals, and seminar papers, and audiovisual materials like photographs, recorded interviews, rehearsal, and performance footage. The Theatre Archives believes that a dialogue with contemporary practices allows for a telescopic view of how historical contexts and legacies of theatre practices have informed different theatre content and form, enabling us to trace chronologies, ideologies, methods, and processes in a map that is complex, hypertextual, and networked. How can we conceive of the relationship between performance and archives such that acts of research, of indexing, of storing, of redistribution could be considered as the archive's own mode of performance, its own singular event? Can the archive be considered as a performance site, a space for alternative interpretations by an amalgamation of fact, anecdote, fiction, and myth to reinterpret a moment of the past? To consider theatre as a social document constructs a lens to read and interpret history. It situates the medium within the social, the political, and the economic, exposing it to cross-cultural and multidisciplinary readings. Can the theatre archive reveal evidence recorded in theatre scripts, in photographed bodies in performance, in set designs, and journalistic records that might otherwise go unnoticed in conventional and traditional narratives of history? The paradoxical relation between theatre and photography reflects a shared connection between the mediums, where both stand on the common ground of staging and share conceptual frameworks such as performativity, theatricality, authenticity, and liveness, which act as important points of reference. Since the Alkazi Theatre Archive seeks to connect families of vocabularies by proposing new linkages across different creative practices, we initiated the Theatre Photography Grant in 2020. How can the entanglement of photography and performance allow us to negotiate the dynamics of seeing, of looking, of being watched, of memories, of the tension in lived and imagined spaces, of inner and outer lives, of the intermixing of subjective and objective realities? I'm delighted to announce the grantee for this year, Kush Kukreja, for his project Yamuna Local Stories.
Hi, my name is Kush Kukreja and I'm a visual artist from Delhi, currently based in Bangalore. I would like to thank the Alkazi Theatre Archive along with the jury panel for giving me this opportunity. The project that I proposed for this grant is called Yamuna Local Stories. The project is a collection of narratives which are directly or indirectly associated with the Yamuna River. My entry into this project was an active response to the popular photographic representation of the Yamuna River, which has been shown as a froth-filled and a polluted river. Images of this kind have presented a linear character of the river, which has in turn become a cultural memory. My intent with this project was to make propositions which force us to re-evaluate the evidential quality of photography. Simultaneously, I also came across research papers which were related to the Yamuna River. The research papers or survey documents exist in the form of archival open source documents but lack any kind of photographic representation. I provide these documents with photographic records using self-portraiture as a tool, where the methodologies provided in the research papers acts as my script, the Yamuna River becomes my stage, and the camera becomes my tool to create evidence. Being sensitive to the question of representation, which were raised previously, self-portraiture becomes an essential tool. Not only does the river, but the photographer, who gets into the shoes of the surveyor, subjects itself to representation which is provided by the script. The surveyor performs the activity of collecting soil samples on the bank of Yamuna River at one point. At the other point, develops a two-camera setup to calculate the speed of water, and at the other point, makes a dummy bridge, juxtaposing it in the place of an unconstructed bridge. Now, considering the time period of the research material that I am looking at, my re-evaluation just does not depend on images as tool of evidence, but also attempts to subvert the material which has been associated with evidential photography. For example, contact sheets or proof sheets. The work takes the form of short-length photo books as a medium of circulation. These short-form photo books become instructional booklets for amateur photographers, again with an intent to mock. Thank you.